Gamers. Okay, so we're playing a deck that might look a little bit familiar. I'm going to show you all the old version before I show you the new version. This is a deck that we trophied with, I guess when was this? We can check here on moxford.com/user/sparring spike 7 months ago. Well, it feels like it was not that long ago. The idea we're trying to explore here was finding good homes for Springheart Nantuko. I was really interested in the dynamic of copying Thought-Knot Seer with Springheart Nantuko. This is still a dynamic that's true in this updated build that is very, very powerful. It's very, very powerful to copy this, strip your opponent of all their cards, and you can even like Ghost Quarter yourself or Prismatic Vista your opponent in their draw step, copy a Thought-Knot Seer in their draw step, take the card, and lock them out of the game. I really like the Nantuko Thought-Knot Seer. It was absolutely something that I was really excited about. And so I was also trying to play Thought-Knot Seer alongside Outcast Trailblazer to enable Fanatic of Ronus to make a lot of mana. And then also Springheart Nantuko on Trailblazer is really crazy because it's just like, it's kind of like one mana, make a copy, then all your copies draw a bunch of cards. And then, you have the Green Suns and you have to tie it all together. Now, we also tried a different version that was playing Glaring Fleshraker, because Fleshraker getting Nantuko is really crazy, but Fleshraker is just not a good card unless you Nantuko it in this archetype, so I don't think it's good to play. Now, this archetype has gotten a lot of upgrades, since we last worked on it. The big one being Badgermole Cub. It's just like, this card is much better than Fanatic of Ronus, is the short answer. This card makes a bunch of mana without another enabler, and then also goes really crazy in multiples, and also like the big thing is, especially if you already have a second Cub in play, especially just casting this generates a bunch of mana at the turn you play it. Fanatic Ronus is a card that makes you untap with it really before it generates any value. Cub is really crazy. Cub is also really, really good with Springheart Nantuko in a way that Fanatic of Ronus really isn't. These two cards play so crazy together. And so because these two cards play really crazy together, you don't need to play Outcast Trailblazer, which is kind of a crappy card, as another like payoff for playing Nantuko in your deck. These cards are just really good together. Nantuko Icetill can be good. Nantuko Seer is insane. Nantuko Dryad Arbor is really good in your Badgermole Cub deck too. So like all of these dynamics really come together well. And maybe the biggest thing is that, and this is something that rang true in the Brood Scale version. I do like that version as well. This is kind of, in a lot of ways this is like Brood Scale's fair plan, but just no combo. But the big thing is that you can just cast an Emrakul really fast in this deck. You just cast Emrakul really fast because you are able to make a lot of mana with Badgermole Cub and Mycospawn and K-Command and Icetill. You're really good at just ramping into this. And I'm also pretty excited that the combination of K-Command and Seer and the fast ramp and the Mycospawns and Icetill, you have a lot of interaction against the bigger linear decks, the faster linear decks that otherwise these kind of strategies wouldn't have. And I guess we can get in here. It's kind of like, um, in some ways this deck is similar to like Eldrazi ramp, but it is, of course, a lot more creature focused, and and you get on the board a lot faster, and you have some more explosive draws. We could a creature removal. All right, on the draw for new league here. The draw against Titan. Be nice to be on the play here. Breakout being able to put a Dryad Arbor into play is fun. Yeah. Let's draw Eldrazi Temple for the turn 2 Seer. Do you think this is just a close our eyes and hope for the best kind of spot? If we were on the play, we could pop off with so much mana next turn. We have, what, 8 mana? I'd feel like we'd probably be in pretty good shape, but we were on the draw. How does this combo work in this deck? There's no infinite combo in our deck. We've had a few builds with Badgermole Cub that have some infinite loop-de-doops with Nantuko, but this build is just trying to use Cub as a ramp piece in Eldrazi. Right, 2 amulets and a Titan is a win. Let's keep it moving. All right, so Force of Vigor is coming in. Endurance is coming in for the Analyst loops. I don't hate Vexing Bauble, but when you board in all the pitch cards, it doesn't make nearly as much sense. So obviously we want to maintain this part of the disruption. I do think the K command typically is just not very good against Titan. I think I'm also wanting to keep the Blastode in so I can like Mycospawn kill multiple amulets. It's probably okay. It's possible we could trim like a land. Probably good to go down one Emrakul, although we do see them less with no K commands. I think it's also okay. We can win with Icetill Ghost Quarter, Thought-Knot Seer, Nantuko. Well-timed Force, well-timed Endurance. Maybe go down one Nantuko. Really don't want to draw the second copy very often. What would a red-green deck that plays Badgermole even look like? Let's just daydream. Red-green Badgermole. As far as would it play Scapeshift, I think that's unlikely since in Scapeshift you want all of your ramp to be land-based for the most part. Not a great 6-card hand. My opponent's also on 6. Would y'all have kept that 6 on the play against Titan? Now we're going to 4 and feel a little silly. You keep. Definitely better than this 4-card hand. I think we have a lot of 5s that are better. Yeah, it was pretty bad. We built decks with Badgermole and Emerald Amulet or the Garbo cost reducer. Medallion? Medallion's not the Garbo cost reducer? Oh, the Goblin. I don't. For the most part, the cost reducers don't make that much sense because I don't. I would think that the Leyline of Abundance is mostly better. Like the Layla of Abundance and the other shell was so good. I kind of feel like maybe I'm making a mistake starting to build this many versions that don't contain the Leyline of Abundance because again, it just was really good when we were messing with it. I mean, if you just top deck a Vista or a Ghost Quarter, we're kind of cooking here. Spelunking is so good against interaction, though. I'd have kept the 7, but I think I made bag mulligan decisions. I think the 7 was pretty unkeepable. We might get Ghost Quartered here, or Boseiju here. Which maybe will just be an asset for me with the Icetill. Maybe should have got the Dryad Arbor. I think it's okay to get the Forest, although I now run the risk of top decking the Dryad Arbor. Is there some Badgermole Nantuko Spelunking deck? No. I don't think so. But you know, I used to have Emerald Medallion and like the Risen Reef deck, and it just isn't it isn't really a card that makes a lot of sense, I think. Okay, good news. Now we could have Force of Vigor the Spelunking in response. The thing is, I just want them to go for the Aftermath Analyst loop because we have the Endurance here, and there's a very good chance that if they just don't have a payoff, this is a win. Versus I Force of Vigor and I don't have almost anything else going because I mulled a 4. I think this makes sense. And so the idea here is that I just yield to everything until they put the Analyst on the stack. Although maybe if they like cast a Titan, we Force of Vigor. They get the Summoner's Pact. Cast the Summoner's Pact. Analyst. Nice. Glass Cannon meme. Actually here. Endurance better Force of Vigor. Yeah, I think so too. Now again, this is something they can play around, and they're pretty likely to play around for game 3. But we just win, unless something crazy happens. Yep. All right, on the draw for game 3. Shout out to Mold4s. All right, let's go. Endurance probably just generally underplayed in this matchup. I don't know how many people know that it's just really good against a lot of their draws. Seems keepable to me. I vaguely remember a blue medallion deck that was kind of popular for a bit after MH3. I don't believe there was ever a popular blue medallion deck, but I do think that there was probably a few the dogs running around. I played a little bit of medallion, very little, mostly like with temporal mastery. All right, I'm gonna try to get a second card with the Force of Vigor. No Vexing for Summoner's Pact. Vexing's really awkward with all the forces and endurance I've brought in. It can be good against Summoner's Pact, but also we kind of want them to Summoner's Pact if we're on endurance here. Feels good. Imagine heroic intervention here. They've got 3 cards in their hand now. I'm like, I'm gonna lose my mind here. They wisely didn't expose it to removal. All right, so they have 5 mana. They're playing their Civic Growth Chamber, which is pretty scary. But what can they do with only 5 mana? Maybe their other hand is a bounce land, and they just want to get this in play so they can tax the Titan next turn. Maybe they're channeling Teleria West here. Maybe they would just like Green Sun for like a 6. Okay, they Boseiju my Oasis, which is interesting. Can't get a waste off of it. Interesting that that's how they would use one of their few remaining cards. Yeah, them having an Icetill would be pretty gross. I'm gonna get my own Icetill and then play Thought-Knot Seer. Unless I hit a Ghost Quarter, I guess, in which case I'd probably Ghost Quarter. Now I think there's a good. We really hope the last card is not a bounce land, or we hope that it's a payoff that we can snipe. No, it's an Urza's Cave. Really good last card to have. So Mycospawn is a great draw. Force of Vigor is a great draw. Rumble for some of the stuff is a good draw. Ghost Quarter is a really good draw. We can potentially try to mill and find one of our 2 Ghost Quarters. Emrakul might be castable if we draw it. Okay, great. This was on my list. With only 1 fetchable left, you want to fetch in response to the trigger here. Die. Maybe we'll get some Hashep Oasis recursion going this game. Why play the Civic if they have the cave? Yeah, I agree it didn't make a lot of sense. I feel like they should have played the cave last turn. Not that I think the outcome of the game would have been that different. I think we'll keep this in the blind. A little bit fragile. That Endurance just soloing them game 2 was kind of unexpected. A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Right. Live, 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 live. What's been my favorite airship deck? I really like the Yogg deck. The Soul Trader build has had better results, but I'm a big believer in the Yogg deck. I think it's one that I maybe need to like do a self boot camp on and like really hammer out. I feel like that one's kind of special. Okay, just a Thraven Charm. Thought-Knot Seer seems good with the Nantuko in hand. Mycospawn for Temple also seems pretty nice. I think I'll go ahead and TKS. I think it's almost never right to get rid of the second season Pyromancer because most of the time they have to discard the second to the first, or a huge chunk of the time, like they would here if they drew a land. So I'll just X-line the Flage. I think makes some sense here. Why is Mardu Energy dead? I don't know. I think Mardu's kind of always been a little worse than Boros. I think Mardu definitely has been like a personal favorite of some gamers, but I've never felt like it's had the results of Boros, and it's just like the mana's worse, and Thoughtseize is not all that good. Like one thing that's maybe even just less visible too is that um Surveil lands really want you to build your deck as 2-color. The Surveil lands, I think, are a big part of the reason why like 2-color decks have been more popular than 3-color decks over the last couple years, or whenever Surveil lands came out. It's like your mana just gets so much smoother. Not that you can't play more colors, but you do just get more rewarded for being 2 colors than it used to matter. It used to be like the third color is pretty free. Is a Bowmaster's decent in a Riddler meta? Yeah, Bowmaster's decent. Doesn't mean Mardu's the best Bowmaster deck. You could win games with Mardu, of course. Maybe I want to get a Shifting Woodland. I don't feel like I need the Eldrazi Temple. Maybe, I guess Blaststone's better. Probably holding this for the Seer next turn. Although I guess we won't be able to take anything because they'll just play whatever they draw. Raptor Obnic sounds disgusting. I mean, Raptor just did any. There's so many things Raptor was so disgusting with. People still, to this day, will be like, why is Amped Raptor banned? All right, let's attack with our Seers here. And then if one of them ends up dying in combat, then we'll just get to take whatever card they drew. If they drew a spell. Was there consideration playing the Boseiju first so you could fetch Vista and have draw step? Well, we wouldn't have had enough mana to pay for both. I guess we could have just fetched Vista. Maybe that was better. Okay. Yeah, I think this is fine. I don't think I need to sack the Bestowed right now. I think all the roads are leading to Rome here, y'all. All right. Not even another thing for me to take. The best K command is the one you never have to cast. People thought I was crazy when I said Raptor was the best card deck, and it wasn't particularly close. It was definitely somewhat of a conversation, but the thing is, like, Raptor is just always your best card for or Raptor can always just be your best card, plus a red 2/1 first striker that, and sometimes it casts 3 or 4 mana spells too, and so it's just like, I don't know. I agree Raptor was the best card. Okay, much harder to Thought-Knot Seer them on the draw. I do think I want to go down 1, 2, 3 here. I have not been liking Endurance that much against them for a little while. It does block okay. Obviously, it gets Flage, but I don't like that if they jump Guide of Souls, that they just bounce off of each other. Energy is tier 2 at best without Guide, in my opinion, even with Raptor. I guess maybe we'll never know, but I certainly feel like the deck would be better right now if you had Raptor and no Guide. but maybe I'm wrong about that. I mean, guide also it is an important enabler for Raptor, of course, but not like that necessary. But it also is a really important enabler for Ocelot Pride. Like Ocelot Pride would be a lot worse without guide too. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I think maybe I'll play one Trinisphere, 2 Endurance. Let's try that. In my opinion, Guide is the only card that enables energy as a deck. So, okay, this is... I love seeing this comment because I almost feel like the deck is called Boros Energy, but it's really Boros Arena Flage 2, and it's Boros Ajani Bombardment 2, and it's Boros Ragavan plus a lot of removal spells, and it's Boros good sideboard cards. And it's more these things than it is Boros Energy. It's more good cards, removal spells, more Ajani Bombardment, more like Guide is kind of the only energy card. There's also Discharge, but like you're not really an energy deck. You're just a Boros deck that's playing Guide of Souls and Galvanic Discharge, you know? So to say it's the only thing that enables energy as a deck, it's like you would have 2 really good 1-drops, Ragavan, Ocelot Pride. You'd have a Johnny Bombardment, you'd have Flage Arena, you'd have good card draw spells, good removal, good sideboard cards. Is the mic still off? Testing, 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 testing. Yeah, I know that the mic has just been shutting down once or twice a stream for a while. I know it's really annoying. It is a very hard thing to diagnose. I tried resetting my audio interface. I tried uninstalling, reinstalling Streamlabs. It's very weird too because on my end it looks like it's still going. I tried taking off the filter. It doesn't work. Very odd issue. I didn't update the drivers like someone suggested recently though. That might just be it. Okay, so -1 Cub. So these let's just see. So this is 8, 9, 10. And this costs, so I'm 1 short. Anything Ghost Quarter does? Not really. Doesn't add an extra type, doesn't ramp me. All right, passing back. If they crack a fetch, I can Ghost Quarter the Arena of Glory. Audio problems are a half step behind printer problems for being arcane and impossible to resolve. Yeah, I agree with that. 12. Wait, did I have it? No, I when I said 11, 12, I think I was counting the other 2 types in the yard, right? Okay, we're dead here. Let's go to game 3. So yeah, this was these each number 4, so it's 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? 4. Oh, sorry, 4. Wait. Oh no, we did have it. Damn it. Sorry. Okay. I sorry. We could have cast Evercool there. We probably should have cast Evercool there with them having Bombardment in their hand. 4 taps for 3 green. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where my brain scattered, but it's scattered somewhere. Oops. The Dryad Arbor looking really awkward in this ham. Easy, a very good keep if it's not Dryad Arbor. I think I just have to mulligan. All right, like this hand well enough. We have the mic. Yeah, an oopsie doopsie for sure of some kind. Yeah, I just need the arena auto tapper. Each line taps for 3. Well, the temple's tapped for 4, basically. But yeah, it was enough. I'm not sure exactly where my miscounting came from. Sometimes it's good to try to pin down where you miscounted. Sometimes sometimes you're just pulling your hair, it feels like, when you do that. I think I'm going to scry draw instead of making a spawn. It's kind of close, maybe. But I could draw another Cake Man. Oh, you know, should I be playing around Mana Tithe? I've been getting Mana Tithe lately. I think I just bottomed that. It's not super clear if that's correct, though. I'm just really in on this Sire plan. So I have like 3, 4, 5, and so like I have a lot of cards that let me Sire. Although I guess this against this we're gonna play Nantuko fetch land probably. Oh well, no, we're gonna play an Oasis, and you know what? We might even get to Nantuko copy Sire this game. So if they have Blood Moon, they don't get to attack, and then we get to go Rumble and potentially be set up to cast Sire the turn after. They don't have Blood Moon though. It's good news. Always be good to be thinking about what the worst case scenario is. My opponent discards a Guide of Souls and an Arid Mesa. I think it's better to have a second green in case they found Blood Moon and then a waste at the moment. Notably, the Sire does die to Thraben Charm on this board, which I don't love. I want to include some Tithe in the Kali of Vengeance deck. It's very situational, can disrupt some strong plays. One thing I don't like about it is that if you reveal it off Atraxa, then it's pretty telegraphed. Although I'll also say the Kali's Vengeance deck, if you're playing, I feel like the Fury of the Horde kind of solved the disruption problem. You just get really proactive. One game 2 weeks ago, and Spike is asking, should we be playing our Mana Tithe? No, we got Mana Tithe twice. And apparently Gingy's been just playing it, you know. Yes, we get to Nantuko Sire. Opponent's probably feeling pretty good, but they may not know that this is just the end. What are they about Riftbound? I have heard a lot of good things about it. I have not played it at all. I would be open to playing it, especially if they reached out for like any kind of sponsorship. I'd be open to learn. It's very tough to pick up another game too for me at the moment, especially with my own game is ramping up. Although it's probably won't be out for another year and a half. But yeah, I'm open to being good. I talked to Honorog a little bit, who we were just chatting, and he was doing some coverage for, I think it was in Houston. He was doing some coverage for Riftbound in Houston. Yeah, if it ever had like an online client, I'd of course be a lot more likely to play it. Opponent is a trooper for battling here. I mean, yeah, maybe they've got something to get out of this. Doesn't seem super likely. I can only, yeah, I guess I should Rumble because I just care about making copies, and maybe I could find another fetch line and make 2 copies instead of just the 1 here. Blastode's pretty interesting. Yeah, I guess we'll make a copy and activate the Blastone this turn. And I guess I'll just activate the Blastone before blocks so we don't have to, I don't have to make them think too much. No, I would hate to do that. We've got Trample anyways. We're going to sack the Blastone. It's just not that different. I love Honorog's influential vibe. Yeah, Honorog is great. He's super fun. He's super sweet. Danced at my wedding. Doesn't Icetill make 2 copies? Well, I wouldn't have enough mana to Icetill, double Vista, and pay 4. I would have been 1 short by my calculations, which I think my calculations have been impeccable so far this match. All right, they'll see what happens here. Now they are at Tid life here. I'm pretty sure they're dead. Does I'm not. Does this even kill the Sire? I guess it does. 4+2+2. Well, the thing is, wait, did we have 4+2+2? Because we played a land this turn and we have 6 lands in play, so we would have had 7 lands in play, so that's 7, right? Again, my calculations have been impeccable in all regards here. Wait, this doesn't even kill the Sire. Oh, no, it does. Okay. My calculation's impeccable. Wait, they're alive? Wow, I really did. I'm really impressed they found a way to live with the blocks. I didn't think they had enough. Play Blast Zone? Okay, right. I did play the Blast Zone. I guess we could have made 2. Mulligan to 7. Turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer. Every card in this hand feels really important. I guess I put back the Emrakul, although like just having Icetill Emrakul seems very tough to put it back. We could find one with the K command maybe. But I just want to be able to go turn 2 Seer, turn 3 Icetill Vista into a big K command, and I think that's more important than keeping the Emrakul in hand. And then if the Arbor dies, we're K commanding on turn 2. Boros again. Well, matchup seems to be great. Yeah, Ormus Chant is, I guess, the real white fog. Ted with the 40 months. Hope you're doing well. So I could ramp into the Icetill. I think I'm just gonna scry draws because we're gonna to go Seer next turn and then try to find just a land and then cast the Icetill after the Seer. Yeah, still just a Seer here for me. Seer's been better in these last 2 games against Boros than it's been for me in other situations. So my opponent drew Flage or Galvanic Discharge. I guess let's not play into it. Could also just be a good bluff. Seems like just taking 1 damage is fine. Oh, wait, sorry. I guess Discharge would have worked anyways. I forgot they had the energy stored. Well, I was going to play the Arbor. Now let's play the Halfling. Milled an Eldrazi Temple. Could be good. Yeah, I think this was just a good bluff attack by them. So their hand is Arena of Glory Mystery card. They Graveyard of Windswept Heath. Thoughts on K Command and Titan with the double colorless bounce side from Outlaws? Seems like it wouldn't be very castable if that was your only way to play it, so would probably... And then you also like don't make great use of making a ton of colorless mana for your payoffs either. Nauseating top deck. What do you think it would take for Belcher being viable again? A metagame that's like mostly Boros and Titan usually ends up being good for it, although at the PT, it didn't actually do that well against Boros, which it was a kind of an interesting dynamic. Okay, good top deck. So I got a couple options. I can try to just find an Emrakul. I can also try to make their blocks kind of bad with the K command. Right now I've got 5 card types in the yard, so Emrakul cost 8. And I can make 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can make 7 spawns. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So by my calculations, my impeccable calculations, it seems we're going to be 1 short again. I could Badgermole attack with the Earthbent land. This is also only as a sorcery, remember? And then I would force them to block with 2 things, and then when they double block, I could K command. No, there's already K command in the yard, so we don't get an extra type. what's Oasis doing here? I mean, it's mostly just a land that tops for colorless and green. But I have won a couple games in decks like this that have we've Oasis for some value. Funny enough, very very fun when it comes up. Okay, so Emrakul costs 8. We got 8. Do I want to draw any of these other cards? I guess they all seem good. So that's good news. I think we only lose if they surveil Flage into the yard. So I'm not trying to manifest. But with 2 cards in their hand, I don't think there's really any other combo. Like, we don't die to Bombardment of Johnny. Okay, they just concede. So we've won our last 4 games against Boros. After, don't ask for the math of that one. I think on the draw, I'm not going to play the Trinisphere. I think I like the sideboard plan. I think the extra endurance on the draw is fine. The Thought-Knot Seers have been better than I expected them to be. They probably do get worse post-Spore. They definitely get worse on the draw. Eldrazi are good against Boros. I think we have a good plan against them. And I think the Cub giving us access to more cheap plays and more explosive draw helps. And like Green Sun, we're like much lower to the ground. And so we're not as slow. But it's hard to say that this matchup is just favorable after 2 matches. Put into the multi-6 on the play. We're keeping our 7 on the draw. I'm mostly watching YouTube. I haven't seen any doggos in a while. Is that a Twitch sub only prick? I guess they mostly spend time with Esther. Also if they're here, like Lucy was here earlier, they're just like not really on screen anymore based on how I've got the camera. But every once in a while they'll pop up in the background. Four cards in their hand. Fun fact, Yogg has a higher measures percentage than Titan less 70 days. That is cool. I've been liking the Yogg builds. Pretty biased towards the airship version, but overall I agree, seeming pretty good. Y'all blocking here? I think I will block because a flying Ragavan will end up being a pretty big problem. And I've got good things to do with my mana the next 2 turns anyways. They also mulligan, so just kind of trading 1 for 1 is just more okay. Let's go Rumble before we Nantuko the Forest. Obviously, we are now saying that we're not going to get a token, but I guess we take the Emrakul since. Okay, well if I don't take, maybe I just take Emrakul and I don't cast the Nantuko this turn, so I can go Icetill next turn. Okay, let's do that. Why not Earthbend the Ghost Quarter? I guess maybe Earthbending Ghost Quarter in general is better. We could also this does allow me to Ghost Quarter my forest and then get value when you can't Ghost Quarter yourself. Is that a wash? Is it better? It's not super clear to me. Is it better for Ghost Quarter to be able to just go straight to the yard so we can Icetill it instead of having it be stuck and play untapped? I'm saying all this because I don't exactly know all the earthbending lines and what's best. There seems to be a ton of little tiny angles that almost never really matter very much. Alright, so they don't have a creature. They would have played it for the Guide of Souls, I guess. Maybe this is like a showdown? The Legend of Roku. Like a showdown. Another Legend of Roku, a Spyro, and a Voice of Victory over there. So I guess we want to keep the spawn token to maybe Emrakul next turn. But it's definitely looking like we're going to get to Emrakul next turn since they've got all this juice. Although they probably will only play Spyro and Voice or the Legend of Roku. They're just not going to have the mana for both. I haven't played it a month. Is there a lot of main deck graveyard hate right now? I wouldn't say there's a lot of main deck graveyard hate now. Might be the spot where we're losing even if we Emrakul. I had problems playing a similar setup where I felt like I was just getting run over by Boros and Domain is mono green. Well, we just beat Boros last round. I think we're gonna win this match too, for whatever that's worth. We're ahead here. I don't know if that's not clear, but I by my approximations, we're currently winning this game. Especially with how they did not play around Emrakul very well, so where we can kill both Guide of Souls next turn. We might lose, but I do think we're ahead. I guess playing the Endurance for a second flying blocker could be a priority this turn. So Emrakul costs 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the extra land we play is able to cast Endurance. Seems like the move. Although here, now we've graveyarded a Sire of 7 deaths. So can I Shifting Woodland Sire and cast Emrakul? Maybe if I Ghost Quarter my own Eldrazi Temple. So if I Ghost Quarter my own Eldrazi Temple, replay Eldrazi Temple, I have a forest here. I think that puts me 1 short, right? Are there any other types I could build? I don't think I boarded in any artifacts. So that's 6, 7. And then... yeah, it looks like I could get a tapped Sire. Just kind of like having the extra spawn token in play. Alright, so we Emrakul them. 8 life points. Have to flip the Saga. Their hand is definitely really good against being Emrakuled. So what's the move? So maybe we are casting Flage, killing one of their own things. Or like putting 3 damage on it. So that then we just Endurance their Flage. Thankfully, this doesn't make a hasty dragon. So I can Flage kill a Guide of Souls, attack Guide of Souls into Icetill, attack season Pyromancer into Emrakul, and attack Guide of Souls into the Endurance, but then the Endurance doesn't really get to kill anything. So instead, if I Flage Voice of Victory, and then I Endurance block Voice of Victory, that dies. Then this gets blocked here, and then this blocks here. And so kill this, kill this, kill this. Is that better though? Because they get to attack with the voice tokens at that point. Attack the voice because you can't play Endurance otherwise. Ah, right. So in that case, I guess we go attack, attack, kill this, Flage. So I guess we're gonna take 2. We could take more if we wanted to. Am I okay taking 2? Seems like an okay number to take. Like we can basically sack a spawn for 1 life point. I guess it's hard to imagine that that's wrong. Hard to imagine that that comes back to bite us, right? Then we flage the Guide of Souls. Oh, so I guess we could have spent the 6 energy. The Emrakul, we could have put it all in the voice. Although it's unlikely to matter, it definitely was correct. I do think this is a spot where you want to surveil instead of just fail to find with their Flooded Strand. Definitely curious if they have more than the 2 Legend of Rokus. Looks like it's just the 2. Other than that, 2 Blood Moons. Discharge can't kill Emrakul because it has protection from instants. Right, so we'll graveyard that, I think. It does look kind of lethal. Maybe not quite. If you Sire Woodland, then Nantuko, does it make Woodlands or Sires? I think it would make Sires, which that could be our play for next turn. Actually, Seasoned Pyromancer mystery card. Why not Endurance in their draw steps so they're less likely to draw Bombard? Well, Endurance shuffles on the bottom, so they're not going to draw. Right? It shuffles on the bottom, doesn't it? Yeah, it puts them in. It doesn't shuffle their deck. It puts them on the bottom in a random order, and so you shuffle in paper. You shuffle there. All right, so I guess if they draw a land bombardment off the Spyro, we get kind of boned here. They probably should have hasted also. Okay. So maybe a bit awkward that if we attack with our Sire, then they can block and they can flip into Johnny. So do we just want to make... Do we not want to attack with Sire? We get to gain 7. Maybe that's just still not even worth it, right? Because we get to go 1, 2, 3. I guess we want to tap the temples to have more green mana, or we'll tap like this. So we go copy the Sire, and then we will get to copy it 2 times. Do we still get to copy it 2 times if I don't? Because we'd have 1 less mana. I won't get to copy it 2 times. Oh no, I don't get to copy it. I only get to copy it once. Sorry, for some reason I wasn't counting the Nantuko costs. It's kind of interesting. So maybe I don't even want to maybe I don't even want to do this now. Maybe instead I just want to like Ghost Quarter my opponent a bunch and then have Sire on defense. Like I could go Mycospawn. I guess I can't go Mycospawn. I do think I want to... I would like to Nantuko this turn. We could Nantuko Icetill Explorer. Ugh, man, it's such a tough turn. If I Nantuko Icetill Explorer, then I can Ghost Quarter my opponent for a ton, but I'm not going to be able to keep the Woodland for Sire up if I go really all in on that. This is a crazy spot. All right, I think I'm going to settle on... Let me know if y'all have a strong opinion on what's right here. Okay, I do think it's too greedy to not play the Nantuko out to get a couple extra blockers. But we're not going to be using the Nantuko to copy. Oh, maybe it's not the case, because then I just don't get to Ghost Quarter 3 or enough. Such a tough spot. Okay, I'm just going to Ghost Quarter. Just hold up the Sire, like the most... Oh, I hit Blast Zone. Okay, Blast Zone does kind of change things. I guess at the very least we'll just hold it up here and chill. Yeah, I guess we're, we're dead to a couple combinations with the Johnny. We're dead to Bombardment. Yeah, super tough turn. One of the toughest turns we played in a while. Can you make a Sire copy on their turn? I can, yeah. So that's currently the plan. Now also holding a Blast Zone. Although not Blast Zone and make a Sire copy. I think this was probably just the best, but absolutely a headache. I guess the Raven Charm would have killed Sire either way, so it's not really that different if they exile my graveyard versus kill the Sire with Woodland. I think Nantuko 1 Ghost Quarter, hold up Sire is safest. Yeah, maybe. Ghost Quarter yourself and find another land would be 2 Sires, but you lose 2 life. I calculated that we could only get 1 Sire because we would have to it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 for the Sire, and then 2 for the Nantuko, and then we would have been able to play the extra land to copy once, but oh wow. Disaster, I guess. So we didn't play around this very well. Do you think we have to make a copy? Dang, Blood Moon is pretty crazy here, huh? Nantuko, Imra copies. And threat lethal. This is legendary, so we're not trying to copy this, if that's what you're saying. Okay. Ziriak with the 4 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Kind of want endurance myself. I would get to shuffle back in a Sire and a Boseiju and a Nantuko and a Rumble. It seems like it's shuffling more good draws back into my deck, but it also means I don't have infinite landfalls off the Icetill. But I have more landfalls in my hand, so I'll be able to make them probably. I guess I could have stacked these triggers the other way. Obviously, we're pretty close to dead. Do have game 3 on the play, although I'm down to like 9 minutes. Wow, I haven't been like this slow on clock compared to my opponent in a long time. Pretty fun. Got to play a little faster, I guess. And pass back. Is Waste better than Second Force? I don't think so, because Waste doesn't really unlock anything. I guess Rumble and Decay Command it unlocks. Okay, so they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 creatures, -1, +1, plus another one off the Avatar Roku, maybe. Do you think we're gonna have to try blocking and seeing if we die? I think at this point in the game, it's just kind of where we're at. They didn't attack with the Roku, which is a little bit interesting. Right now, the Ajani is dealing me only 4 damage, so it's I think it's tough to die to the Ajani right now. Certainly possible, I suppose. That Deflage. Damn. Yeah, I mean, we could have lived for a turn, I guess. What would we have drawn? A Mycospawn? Game 3 on the play. I guess I have to enter play fast mode. Do I don't think I want to be having answers for Blood Moon. I think Delighted Halfling, the Wastes, the Rumbles, the Sires, just like I think our deck is just castable enough through Blood Moon. I don't think we need to be that worried about it. I think I do have one too many endurances. Let's play second Icetill on the play too. Should have held land for the next endurance copy. I think I just wanted more blockers. Maybe you're right. Although the thing is, if I'm milling, I'm likely to get more land drops also, right? Yeah, we can keep this on the play. I guess we should play Hashep Oasis on turn 1 so we can K command on turn 2. Roku, Bombardment, Blood Moon, they don't play Prison anymore. I mean, sometimes they do. But yeah, it's for Force. Yeah, I don't know if you want to force the Saga so much. But yeah, we could maybe play a Force or two. Thing is, I just don't really think Blood Moon's that good against us, but maybe I'm underestimating it. It's definitely not bad. If they played a Johnny, I probably will exile the token and draw a card. Is the Halfling anymore? Is the Halfling really delighted anymore after being used to summon Eldrazi? Good question. Unclear. Okay, problem. Another forest could be good if they have Blood Moon. I think we'll bottom it though. Definitely in the realm of being fine to keep. What do you think of Aura board as a greenstone target when you have a wide board? I guess, I'm usually a lot more interested in discussing tutor targets in talking about them in the context of matchups they'll be good in rather than situations they'd be good in. Okay, down to 15. They don't have a third land, thankfully. Kind of punished for bottoming the forest, although we get paid off here a little bit. I do think I'll get another forest to play around Blood Moon. I think it's just a bit better with our double green cards. But we're going to obviously get a Temple to try to cast Sire next turn. Having a 3/3 blocker is pretty nice here too. So yeah, so like in what matchup is Ouroborid a good card for our deck? I don't really feel like any comes to mind. It just seems like in general the card is kind of underpowered and fragile. And like I would probably just rather get Icetill if I want to 4-drop most of the time. They're hasting something. Ugh. Haste a Ragavan and a Ajani. Well, this sucks. So they get to kill my Mycospawn, hit me for a ton. I don't even think Sire just doesn't even really do it because I'm just dead if I play the Sire next turn. Isn't Cub mana neutral? It's not. A lot of people seem to think that you play this and it's mana neutral. This is +1 mana or -1 mana if you don't have another mana dork. So I guess we lose this one. Really kind of crazy to have lost this match. That game too. It was such a tough turn. All right, we'll keep this on the play. Maybe mulligan this on the draw. Opponent is on a multi-6. Is this 3 Boros in a row? Every once in a while, we just play against Boros so many times in a row. I mean, my opponent clearly has a removal spell, so I don't think I'm supposed to play a Cub here, especially when I can go double Cub next turn. Been watching all your vids. I was doing research on the most consistent deck to do top 3, and surprisingly, Boros Synergy is the best after Death and Taxes. It's when you talk about something like Death and Taxes, it's going to be like the data on that is like really unreliable because depending on even how you're doing your research, it's like it only shows up it only shows up when it top 8s and never otherwise, or like the very, very small sample size skews the numbers. But that is a funny data point for sure. And funny that my opponent kept a 1-land Unholy Heat hand. I don't know what they're doing over there with Unholy Heat. Probably, hopefully we've been released from our Boros Synergy bindings here, although here is an energy card. All right. What does Unholy Heat Galvanic Discharge mean? Something Sire is probably good against. Jeskai, I don't know. It's maybe Boros Delirium adjacent. Let's do something like this. Jeskai Blink. They just don't usually play Heat, though. Some Boros people have been playing Heat. We have played some Boros Delirium, but I don't think we also had Discharge in the deck. I did like the Boros Delirium deck. I rue the day, or I rue this Dryad Arbor, but I think we probably need to keep this on the draw against whatever this is. Probably will not play the Dryad Arbor turn 1. But this would be like a pretty good multi-6. Alright, they keep 7. Putting up to 1-lander. They have played Quarry Mountain Monastery. So they're definitely Jeskai control, right? Or maybe Maybe not. I just only feel like a Jeskai control player would play a card like this, but oh no. Okay, we're about to get big boomed here. Well, my opponent's playing a lot of removal, so let's rumble this turn and maybe try to go double cub like we did last game. Although, you know what? I'm not super surprised to get reprieved here. I was working on a Mardu Ketramos list. Do you ever take submissions and potentially look at editor play? Not like super officially. This is something we used to do, but it ended up being too big a distraction to the stream. But in between rounds of challenges, I'll take a look. Or if your pitch is, something I'm interested in, sometimes I'll take a look. Okay, not gonna flash in the endurance, I guess. Let's sandbag the temple. They get a plane, so I guess we're pretty free to go Cub here. Maybe I should have targeted the Boseiju first. I was going to target it second because of Field of Ruins. But you know what? If I'm getting Path exiled here, it's hard to feel too upset. Toborg, the 5 years. Let's go. Been a long time since the goofy Spellshift League. I remember it every day. A Mardu Pile of Flage, Solitude, Catcher, Phoenix. Oh yeah, well, I guess, one thing too, I think even sometimes, maybe not more useful, but something that you can do if you're wondering to take a look, like, I guess I don't know how you search for this one, Mardu Ketramos. But, we have played Detectives Phoenix Ketramos a long time ago. And you can go to boxfield.com/user/aspiring spike and just type Mardu Mardu Ketramos, and this was our old build. I didn't think this was good. Phoenix on Felia was like specifically something that I was pretty interested in. I think we trophied with this build too. All right, so this cub is mana neutral because there's already a mana dork in play. I want to Earthbend a land and Boombust it. Am I cooking or coping? At risk of not using the cool Zoomer words, I don't really feel like that's a good plan. I'll just say it just seems like not a strong plan, but would be fun. Seems like there's better plans. All right, Emrakul, Sire, another cub. I guess we'll take another Mycospawn. Give them a taste of their own medicine. Yeah, 4 cards in their hand over there. Yeah, that build's pretty old, ZK, so probably would need some updating, but okay, so I am out of basics. They finally got me. We can maybe just put a lot of lands into play this turn. It's kind of hard to feel like this is wrong against what their deck is. Maybe they could remove the forest in response. Okay, they can. Still, we get a lot of value. Like we get our forest back. We get 2 insect tokens this turn. Okay, and they just concede. All right, let's get a 4-1 prediction going. All right, I'm gonna keep on the draw. I decided to keep Green Sun into Rumble Nantuko, maybe a Rumble into a second 2-drop. Get Nantuko onto the Dryad Arbor. So we might have a hole in the sideboard plan for the Yogg matchup. We'll see. Not too scared of the Undying aggro start. So a lot of types of the yard for Emrakul. Sorcery, Instant Kindred, Enchantment, Creature, Land. 6 types? Alright, well I guess we'll take the Delighted Halfling then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we draw a Temple, we can turn 3 Emrakul. Kind of magical Christmas land if it happens. Some Dredger's Insight. A Cauldron, a Grist, a Young Wolf. I'm going to take the Cauldron, I guess. I guess we don't need to scoop to Infinite Life if they do it next turn with Cauldron and Undying, since we can Emrakul them to kill them, I think. Wait. They returned Young Wolf? Surprising. Okay, does Green Sun for Cub let me Emrakul? I think it's one short still. I go 1, 2, 3, and then Earthbend here, and I have 6 mana, and Emrakul still costs 7. What the heck? I guess it's -3, +3. So instead, we will settle for the sad, pathetic turn 4 Emrakul. Have you heard when you're doing the cube trying to decide when to burn the rest of my PTO for the year? Nice. Glad you're excited. I know it's between Christmas and New Year's, but I think it's usually for 3 days. I guess I could check and see if I missed like a Discord message or something. If you're thinking of using the PTO. My dad, I'm not looking up. Okay, tentative the 27th and the 28th. Then maybe I guess it says starting midnight on the 26th. Okay, I guess I block here so I can. Oh, they Cauldron Grist. I guess that makes sense. Okay, it's gonna be a weird turn next turn. I don't know why my opponent didn't Cauldron Ballista, because they could have gained infinite life this turn. Build them out, shoot Ballista on Wolf. Yeah, I wait, where did this Yawg... Oh, they just build Yawgmoth. Okay, well, the milling Yawgmoth makes it obvious that they're just dead. Just get to mill them out. Infinite life doesn't beat Emrakul. I mean, seemed kind of better than making some insects. I don't know. Okay, well, I mean, this is going to take a little bit. So we're going to sack this Young Wolf to reset this Young Wolf. We even have an extra Undying creature. I don't know why it's so weird to... Okay, I guess we'll always yield to this. So there's 2 loyalty counters on it, right? I guess we should be plussing the Young Wolves when they re-enter so that we can mill them faster. Confused but happy we win. Yeah, so we're controlling them and we are just drawing their entire deck here. And we're plussing the Grist along the way so that it's a bit easier. Maybe this was not even the... Maybe this wasn't even the fastest way to do it. I guess we could be a little bit faster too. We can go like sack 1. I'm gonna concede faster, kill faster if you uptick the wolves with Grist abilities to me. Yeah, I guess they sent that after I started doing that. Okay, great. So we're going to game 2. Nice to win game 1 against Yawgmoth. I do think this matchup seems kind of bad. Collector Ouphe to turn off their cauldrons. Green Sunnable seems good. I don't really think the Sires make that much sense to me. They're not the worst. Endurance is not very good against them. So I think we are just kind of in on like Turbo Thought-Knot Seer, Green Center for Fast Emrakul. That just seems like the plan. So probably go just down like an Icetill and then click submit. Can't you just pay all the life? So they have an infinite life combo that I can't disrupt with Dredger's Insight. That's the problem with the just kill them with Yawgmoth's ability thing. I guess this is a fine keep. It gets obviously really good if we draw Green Sun, Halfling, or Temple. We can draw Temple in the next 2 turns. Force of Vigor 2 weak. I think when you bring in 1 Collector Ouphe, all of a sudden it gives you 5 more answers to Cauldron. So I don't think you need to play Force. Also, I don't think breaking up Crypt Incursion seems, or Dredger's Insight for the Infinite Life seems that important since okay, interesting. Oh wow, I can't get waste off that. Can't you just draw the deck? Yeah, that's what I was doing. I can't just do it though. I have to do it. Takes me like 10 minutes. But that was what we were doing, yes. Yogg is normally bad versus Eldrazi ramp. Okay, that's good news then. Kill my Arbor, I guess. I won't have a follow-up. Oh, I guess this lets me follow up. Now, Thought-Knot Seer not great against Yawgmoth, necessarily. Cauldron, Cub, Ballista, Halfling. Pretty scary hand. I do have Boseiju in hand for Cauldron. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take the Cub. I think I just care about letting them have less creatures here. I sideboarded out the second Icetill for the Collector Ouphe. So they play a Delighted Halfling. Maybe they'll kill one of these things. And so they just put a -1 counter on the Thought-Knot Seer. I think that makes sense because it's a good attacker. They drew a Rumble, which mills over another Cub, a Boseiju, another Yawgmoth. They chose Boseiju, so they have a land to play for turn. So their hand right now is Cauldron, Cauldron, Ballista, Mystery card, right? So it looks like I should be able to Mycospawn plus Thought-Knot Seer. I have to get another Temple, though. So we'll get rid of the Spymaster's Vault. Oh. Sorry, I guess I miscounted somewhere. It's probably bad then. I do think I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice a Cub for 5 damage. 5 damage, pretty valuable here. So maybe I'm still getting the Mycospawn, but I do something like grab a Blast Zone or Hashep Oasis instead. Oh, our opponent was saying that the Grist token sacrificing them deals them an extra damage. Wait, they're not going to proliferate here, are they? No, 1/1 Ballista. Interesting that they went for the 1/1 Ballista. They also missed their land for turn. Alright, I guess all that's pretty good. Okay, well, I guess predictably their hand sucks. I suppose we take second Cauldron so we can Boseiju the first. I don't know that their hand could like possibly be any worse. So if I sit with everything, they can go like block or block here, Block here, sacks. I only get in 2 damage, and they get to draw a card. It's probably good to wait a turn. I don't really see any reason for them to do this now. I feel like shouldn't they just have seen what they drew, or like I don't know, not the biggest deal. They probably end up sacking it for a card anyways. Okay, there's a Dredger's Insight. They mill over an Endurance, a Badgermole Cub, an Overgrown Tomb, and an Ashiok. A little bit surprised to see Ashiok here. They end up choosing Endurance, which can gain them some life if they Endurance themselves, but then they lose their juicy graveyard. How do we feel about Boseijuing the Dredger's Insight now? I guess let's go ahead and see what they target with the Endurance. That seems to maybe be a bit better. I just don't know that giving them a mana is better than denying 1 point of life. So right now they're blocking here, and they're taking 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They're down to 8. Yeah, probably better to hold the Boseiju and just let them have 1 life. Yeah, I guess they're going to go for the Proliferate. Also, if we Boseiju. They don't have it. Okay, so we 4-1 this league. Pretty good. Again, I don't know if this is better than Broodskell. Maybe I feel like I like the Broodskell build a little bit more, but it's really feel like a good direction to go. I think that these kind of shells are underplayed. You know, the one match we lost this league was pretty narrow. We did lose a couple other matches with it this morning. Beating Titan on the Mold 4 just with a single Endurance was lucky. Okay, we'll pay out the prediction. I do have a backup deck that I'm kind of excited for. So I